Warning, the following video depicts a man attempting to tile a floor. While some information may be gained, you should not assume this man is correct in regards to anything he says or does.
Jason Explains Things presents The Gilded Throne Room. Episode number 3, Tiling a Floor.
Let's do it. It'll be funny. All right, ready? You gotta look at the camera. Hey, welcome back everybody to another exciting installment in our bathroom remodel series. What are we gonna do today?
We're going to fix the bathroom toilet.
No, we're not. Today, we start tiling the floor. All right, so as you can see, there's been a lot of progress made since the last time you guys have seen a video. Everything has been, this wainscoting was done. So before we get tiling, we're gonna wanna make sure that our flooring, our subfloor here is in good shape. You also wanna make sure everything is clean. Also, if you're like me and you have heating elements, such as this radiant heat baseboard thing going on here, you're gonna wanna use some paper and cover this up because we don't wanna get this dirty. Okay, so the first step we have to do is we have to prepare our subfloor. So this product that we're gonna be using today is called Schluter Ditra, and it's called an uncoupling membrane. It's a waterproof membrane. What that means, it means that it's a thing that you use to put on the floor when you tile things. That's exactly what that means. It's science, and I can't explain it to you because I can't, because you don't get it. I do, of course. All right, so the first step when doing your underlayment is you want to dry fit all your pieces. So let's open this up. Okay, so it looks like the floor here is going to be covered in 3 pieces of this underlayment stuff. So what you want to do is you want to cut it, giving about a 1/4 inch of gap on every side. So it looks like our first piece will be roughly 58.5 inches. All right, that looks great. So we got our 3 pieces all measured and cut and dry fit, and they all look really good. So next step is we need to mix our thin set mortar that's going to cement this stuff on down. So let's head outside and do that. Ready? So this is the grout, not grout. All right, everybody, this is the mortar we are going to be using. So for uncoupling membranes, you want to use a specific mortar that is designed for that. Either it'd be called something like uncoupling membrane mortar, or sometimes it'd be called modified thin set mortar. All right, and when going over plywood, they recommend using, instead of water in the mix, they recommend using this polymer additive stuff. Check this out. Look how that's all twisted. That's what happens when you buy a mixing paddle thing at a Harbor Freight. All right, time out. Hi, Jason here. I'm editing this right now. It's amazing, isn't it? All right, long story short. I mixed that stuff way too thick. I didn't put enough of the liquid in there. It was way too thick, way too dense. Then I spread it on too thick. So when I tried to lay it on there, tried to glue it down, it didn't dry, and it sort of dried, but not really, and it was all lumpy and terrible. So I stared at it, and I got depressed, and decided to rip it all up. So lots of really good videos on the YouTubes, how to lay down the Schluter-Dietra stuff. I think it's probably a fine product. I'm just a noob. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So we'll pick it up here with me deciding to do cement board instead. Let's continue to watch this. So I'm going with good old-fashioned cement board. This is HardieBacker, is this brand. All right, for the stuff under the cement board, you're gonna wanna use the recommended type of thin set mortar, and this one also called for the polymer additive stuff again. And then also, like yesterday, which I should have not used yesterday, but today I should use, we're gonna be using a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch trowel. So, it says we let it sit for 5 minutes, and then we mix for another 1 minute, and then we're ready to put it in. Nice and soupy. Just give your floor here a nice scrub one last time. Okay, everybody, so I think we have our plan. So do you guys know what this means? No? Come on. Catchphrase. Catchphrase. Tricycle? No, not the tricycle. Maybe later. Come on. Catchphrase. It's time to break out the big guns. Tile saw. I'm tired. Turned out pretty good. And tomorrow, we'll let it dry for a while, and then tomorrow we'll do grout, and the floor's done. A flaw! A flaw! Flaw!
The next morning.
All right, here's our grout, and it is unsanded grout because our joints are nice and small, so they recommend unsanded for that. If you were doing larger tiles with bigger grout lines, like 1/4 inch, you would use sanded grout. Just to add a little bit more durability and stain protection, color fading protection, I'm gonna be using this instead of water. So this grout is fairly idiot-proof. You're supposed to use the whole thing and this whole thing. Yeah, that's it. All right. Just get a little bit. on your float here. Start pushing it in. This stuff is kind of like gel. It's interesting.
I think you're using too much on the top.
No, it's fine. It's totally fine.
Can you scrape it a little more from the back? It's kind of messy and uneven.
You know, the show is called Jason Explains Things, not Amy Explains Things. This tile floor is done. So, after the floor has been dried for a couple weeks, you want to use a sealer to really seal the grout. All right, everybody, so this project is done, but this bathroom is not. So stay tuned for more episodes of Jason Explains Things. Maybe don't make a video about how great you are at doing things when you are doing it for the first time. Or, yeah, whatever.